Hey, what's up, everybody? I just got off work. That means Jackson's with his mom. He and I have been kind of working on this little project where we're going to kind of share our story and what we've been through and the direction we're heading. Him and I, and kind of our relationship through all of what we've been through. He'll be back from his mom's in a couple of days, and we'll pick back up on that. But for now, I want to say that I've got a lot of feedback on this, and that's really cool. Like I've had people message me that just need somebody to talk to, and I've heard a lot of stories this week, and people are dealing with a lot. Uh, I've got a lot of positive feedback. People saying this is a great thing you're doing with your boy, and it's going to make you guys' bond stronger, and that's really cool because Jackson's my best friend. I mean, if there's not too many people in this world, I give a shit what they think, but Jackson is definitely one of those people, and I want to raise that boy the right way. I want to raise him to be a man where he can deal with this world on his own. And I've got a lot of negative feedback too, that's fine with me. If you know me, you can say what you want to me. Not too much hurts my feelings, and I'll at least listen. Some of the bullshit goes in one ear and out the other because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. But I do want to say that I had one person call me, and I haven't heard from this guy in years. And he gets a hold of me. He's like, Jake, I didn't know you were going through that. I didn't know you fought an addiction and a suicide attempt, and your wife left, and I didn't know all this, and I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. And I was like, dude, don't worry about it. You didn't know. What were you supposed to do? I really didn't let people be there for me a whole lot anyway. So the more we talked, I'm like, what's going on, man? What's happening? And he said, he just breaks down and starts crying. And he's like, my wife left because I have a bad drinking problem. I haven't talked to my kids in weeks. And my ex is with somebody already, and I'm losing it. He said, I lost my job. I'm broke. I had to move back in with my parents. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't even want to be alive anymore. And the emotion just coming through the phone was like, it was tearing me apart because I remember, holy shit, do I remember those days, But at some point, you have to make a decision. And I wanted to tell him, I wanted to be sympathetic with him, and I wanted to just tell him, this is going to be okay, and time will heal this, and all this stuff. Bullshit that don't matter. Bullshit that ain't real. It's the same bullshit people want to tell you when they don't have any fucking idea what you're going through. Because things don't get better with time. Time's not going to heal these wounds. You have to make that decision to get the fuck up out of the dirt. Leave all that self-pity there. Leave everything you thought the way life was supposed to be there. Leave all them fears there of what life's going to be like from here on out because it's not going the way you wanted it to. Whatever happened, whatever you're working for, you got to fucking leave it there. And you got to crawl out of fucking hell one way or the other. When you make that decision, there's going to be a lot of people that don't understand what you're going through. There's going to be a lot of people that don't want to listen. They're not going to give a fuck. I've had people smile right in my face and were glad I was going through this. It's going to happen. The good news is this ain't their battle. They're not the ones laying in bed at night crying, scared to death of tomorrow. They're not the ones living with this pain. They're not the ones that got to carry it. You do. The decision you make to either get out of it or not, that's up to you. You can stay there if you want. But when you make this decision to get out. So I told him, like I said, I've been there, dude. I've cried in that mirror, begging myself to hold on. I pulled into my driveway at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, get off work, and scared to go to my house because my family wasn't in there. And set my car all night till 7 in the morning to go back to work the next day, I put my daughter's truck in the garage for fuck's sake and turned it on and wrote letters to my kids. And woke up to the carbon monoxide detectors going off and my neighbor and an ambulance. And thank God she saved my life. But, I've been there. It's a really tough, scary, dark place to be. But you can crawl the fuck out of it. Listen to me. You can get up and you can fix it. But you got to leave all that stuff there, like I said. There's really no easy way out of this, you know. People try to fill up this hole, whatever has created this hole in you. People try to fill that up with like alcohol, drugs, women, you know, whatever it is you're trying to fill it with, just to make you feel better right now. Trust me when I say this. All that shit's going to do is bring you right back. Probably make you worse than you are right now. You're done with this pain. Remember, you're making a decision to get better. You're making a decision to get out of that pain. Don't allow anything in that's going to make that worse. And all that stuff, those quick pleasures right now, that's just going to make it worse. Infinitely worse. Now, another thing, like, if you've never been there, if you've never been laying in bed at night crying, begging God to kill you in your sleep, and then you cuss him out when you wake up in the morning, you know, if you've never walked around all day not giving a fuck, wishing you would die, good for fucking you. Good for you. But there's a lot of people that are, and you got to be real careful dealing with these people, because when somebody's at the end of the rope, like if you'd have ran into me a couple of years ago and started fucking with me about this, I would have turned you into dust. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Just be patient with people, because you never know what somebody's going through. And it might, just you being nice to them or helping them up, might be the difference that day that they needed. But back to your struggle, you know, back to your pain, or whatever it is you're dealing with, embrace it. Love this struggle. I'm going to tell you one thing I learned through a struggle like this. It's going to teach you what true happiness is. It's going to teach you what it feels like. All these bad days, they're going to show you what it feels like to have a good day for real. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while, but you'll get there. Another thing it's going to teach you, to be more compassionate and understanding. It's going to teach you to maybe help somebody else out later on down the road, or even right now. When I was going through it, I helped a lot of people. I helped people with addiction. I've helped a couple of couples that just didn't know how to communicate, you know, while I was going through this. So it's going to teach you some things that you might be able to pass on to somebody else. The people that turn their back on you, the people that walk away, and there's going to be a lot of these fucking people. Let them go. Trust me when I say this. You don't need those kind of fucking people. Where you're going, you don't need those people. Something else this is going to do, you know, you're going to be looking for the old you. Like for me, I didn't want things to change. I wanted everything to go back to normal. Anything short of that was not acceptable. So that kept me held down. It kept this hope where my life's going to go back to the way it was. My ex is going to come home. This addiction is just going to go away, you know, and I'm not going to have to battle it every day. That's bullshit. You got to let that go. You have to find a way to let that go. Like I said, these people that walk out of your life, let them go. The old you that you're looking for, that motherfucker ain't going to be strong enough to survive. You're going to watch him bleed to death with a smile on your face. He's not going to be strong enough. The two of you, the person you can be, the person you have the potential to be, and the person you were, they can't walk down this alley together. One of them's got to go. And if you do it right, you'll watch that motherfucker bleed to death, and it's a good feeling. So embrace this struggle. It's yours. Take this pain, take all this anger, take all this hate you got in you, and turn it into motivation and discipline. That I'm never going to be in that fucking spot again. I'm never going to be laying here crying for things to change again. I'm going to get my ass up and make them happen. Like I said, it's a tough place to be. It's not going to happen overnight. But you got to fucking make that decision. You got to get started somehow. You have to get up somehow. But when you do, it's like, trust me, it's this greatest feeling. When you get there, when you finally, and I got a long way to go myself. I've been battling this a couple of years. You know, I've been dealing with this a couple of years, rebuilding myself. And I'm happy with my progress. I can finally look in the mirror and for one of the first times in my entire life, be proud of the person looking back. I could say that you're going to get to a spot where people's opinions don't matter anymore. You're going to be excited every day to get up. You're going to find a passion. You know, you might not have that right now. You're going to find those things. Oh, it's going to feel good. Trust me. Trust me. And when you do, you're going to realize that you don't need as much um, as you thought you did. You don't need the people around you thought you did. You're good by yourself. I spent a lot of time alone, and it's something I couldn't do before, especially when I first started going through this. I thought, you know, that was the worst thing, being alone sometimes. But I found out that it's pretty good for me. And like I said, when you get through this, when you finally decide this is my struggle, this is my pain, what I do with it from here on out is my decision. Who I let this turn me into is who I'm going to be forever. It's who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. This is the most important moment of your life. You're going to feel like you're reborn again when you finally get the fuck up. Trust me. I wouldn't trade the last 4 years, all the shit I've been through. You know, the suicide attempt, the people turning around and walking away from me, the divorce, the relationship I had to rebuild with my kids that I lost, you know, the verge of losing my job I've been at for 20 years. I wouldn't trade those 4 years for the first 35 years of my life. And trust me, nobody took this harder than me. Make that decision to get up. Don't live like this no more. When you're on the bottom and you ain't got nowhere to go but up, and you finally decide to brace this struggle and allow it to change you and allow it to make you better, it's a good feeling. It really is. I know it's hard, and I know you're dealing with a lot. And I'm not trying to compare what I went through, trust me, to what anybody else went through, because another thing I've learned through this is you don't know what somebody's feeling on the inside. Something that's not a big deal to you might be a big deal to them, you know? You don't know. Just because they don't have it as bad as you in their situation, don't mean they don't have it as bad as you here. So don't, you know, try not to judge people, and always try to be there for somebody if they need it. Now, when Jackson comes back, we'll kind of get back into what he and I been talking about. And I think he's got some questions for me, which is cool. I'm not sure what they are, but we'll see. I don't know what else to say. That's your first step. You have to decide this is it. I'm not doing this anymore. And when you decide that and you try every day to do the next right thing, it'll take you home. It'll take you where you're supposed to be.